Guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another weekly weigh-in video. I am going to first, before we jump into my weigh-in, I'm going to talk a little bit about a topic that has been on my mind lately. I told you all that I was going to kind of go back to what I used to do back in the day when I did WW before, and I kind of had a weekly topic that I talked about each week. I may not have that every week. It just maybe just if there's something on my mind at the time, then I will talk about it. Now, I mentioned protein intake a lot in my videos, so I thought I'd touch on why I track my protein and how increasing my protein I really feel like has really contributed to my weight loss, especially over the last several months that I have been really being good about tracking it and about just making sure I'm getting the intake that works for me. Probably the question I get the most is how many grams of protein should I eat in a day? Now, that answer can be very subjective and it really depends on each person individually, but I don't really want to tell you how much you should eat because I need to stress, I am not a doctor, not a registered dietitian. I'm not even like a certified nutrition coach or anything, but I do have quite a few friends that are nutrition coaches. I have a couple friends that are dietitians, and I go see my doctor regularly. So one of the things I want to kind of share with you with my background with my doctor is that I do go every single year. I do an annual checkup with my doctor. And now I'm not talking about the other annual checkup you get as a woman, but I'm just talking about going in just for like a physical. And if you did not know, if you get insurance through your employer or even private insurance, I would think there is probably a preventative section on your insurance where you can go get an annual physical and it's free. You don't even have to pay a copay or anything. And the same goes with your blood work. So I get a whole panel blood work. I get my cholesterol done. He does a whole CBC blood count and he always codes it as preventative because he's looking at things like my kidney function, my liver function, my blood count, my red blood cells, my white blood cells. He's looking at my glucose levels. I mean, he does the entire gamut across the board. And then he also does my cholesterol and then he does my thyroid because I do have hypothyroidism. So that is part of our yearly thing. I do it every October typically is when I do it. So every October I go and I get all that stuff done. And so far every year, and I've been doing that for about 5 years. So for pretty much the majority of my weight loss journey, I've been doing that. So I know that all my functions with my liver, my kidneys and stuff have all been perfect, optimal, never had an issue with any of that stuff. So I want you to keep that in mind. But I'm just going to share with you my personal experiences, my knowledge and my conversations that I've had with my doctors and with people that I know that are certified in certain areas of this type of thing. So there's many calculators out there and there's many formulas out there that will give you a number of what you're supposed to, your goal for your protein grams. Again, you have to be very subjective about that because they may give you a number. So let's say it gives you a number of like 100 grams a day. That's going to be based on the number of calories that you're putting in that you want to consume for the day. So if you don't, say you're consuming 1,500 calories for the day and it gives you a number of grams to eat of protein. Well, if you didn't know, there are 4 calories of protein per gram, 4 calories per gram of protein. So that is the number that they use when they calculate how many grams based on the number of calories you're eating. So you may have your calories set for 1,500, but then you only eat 1,300 for the day. So you obviously don't want to eat the 100 grams of protein because that you would go over your protein goal. So because it's so complicated, right? I mean, that sounds super complicated. I personally, with, like I said, talking with my doctor and all of that, we just decided on a percentage. So for me, I just look at my tracker and I say, I want to try to hit at least 30% of my daily calorie intake is going to be protein. That's how I look at it. So I just kind of watch it because I don't always eat all my calories for the day. I have a calorie goal kind of, but it's really more of a baseline. Like I want to make sure I'm not under eating. And that's because that's some issues I've had before is not eating enough calories. So I just track that just to make sure. But as far as the protein, like I said, if I'm not hitting my calorie goal, then I don't need to worry about hitting that number. Like I said, I think on my tracker, I think I have 125 grams is what is actually my goal each day, but that's based on the number of calories, again, that's in my tracker for my daily goal, which I don't ever hit, hardly ever. I think my daily goal, and there's like 1,500 and something, but I'm usually under that. I just eat till I'm satisfied and full. That's how I do it, as you guys know. So really the bottom line number really depends on how many calories you eat a day. But again, have these discussions with your doctors or nutrition coach. There's a lot of them out there. You guys probably know Jenn over at Jenn's WW Journey. She does nutrition coaching. She can do your macros for you. Brianna over at Diva and the Divine, she also does nutrition coaching, and I think she probably does the same thing with macros and all that. So there's a couple people out there that are here on YouTube that you probably already know that could help you with that. I am not certified. Like I said, I just talked with my doctor, and 30% was a good number. I typically hit between 30%. I don't hardly ever go under 30. I don't even think I've gone under 30 since I've been on WW and really been tracking religiously. But I hit between 30 and 45% sometimes. That's my typical intake for each day. Now, next question is then, how do I track my protein? I use the Lose It app. I would think there's a lot of apps that do the kind of tracking, like MyFitnessPal. That's another one I used to use a long time ago. Highly recommend that one. Recommend the Lose It app. But if you are on WW and you don't want to double track, you don't have to. You can just easily use the WW app to also track your protein. So when you scan or look up a food, if you scroll down to the very bottom, it is going to have all the nutritional information there for you. So what you can do if you have something that you write your meal plan on, maybe just get a planner, or you can just have a piece of paper, whatever. For each meal that you have or each item you eat, maybe just jot down the number of protein that you have for that meal after you put it into your tracker. It'll all be there, and then you can just jot the number down. And if you want to track your calories, you can do that same thing. You can just track it down. You can just mark that down as well, because if you just scroll down, you can see for each item that you're eating, you can see the number of calories. So you can paper track and not have to have two apps to do it. I'm just used to doing it. I've done it so many times, but I have thought about going over and doing the paper tracking for a while. However, I like how the Lose It app will calculate the percentage for me. I cannot remember for the life of me if MyFitnessPal does that. It's been so long since I've used it, but I know the Lose It app does do it because I look at it every single day to see what my percentages are of protein. It shows me my protein, my fat, and my carbs. But I really just only looking at the protein is what I do. So before I talk about how protein has contributed to my weight loss, I do want to clear up one thing, again, that I have learned from experience and what I've been told by doctors and registered dietitians. So don't come at me in the comment section, please, because I'm totally giving you my disclaimer right now, because I know I'm going to get some people saying things. But before I go into some of these, I do want to just clear up some comments I get, because I get a lot of comments about kidneys being hard, about protein being hard on your kidneys. And I've had several people send me messages about it. So I just want to say, a couple years back, my husband was diagnosed with kidney disease. I went with him to all of his appointments to his kidney doctor, which is called a nephrologist. Is that what they're called? When she told him she wanted him to be careful of, high protein intake, I asked if a high protein diet was hard on the kidneys, because I had read that as well. And I was doing keto at the time. So I really wanted to know. She said that protein does not harm healthy kidneys. And like I said, as long as I am getting my yearly blood work done and I'm getting my kidney function checked, which I do every single year, and everything is normal, then I don't have to worry about my high protein intake. And I don't even know if 30 to 40% of my daily calories is even considered high protein. I don't know. But again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing my personal experience. So if you know people who've had issues, maybe they already have pre-existing issues, I don't know. Most people are super nice about it in the comments and just ask the question. So I'm not coming at anybody in particular. I'm just saying there has been some people, mostly people have sent me private messages that have been not as nice about it. So I just wanted to tell you again, I'm just sharing my personal experience. So how has the protein helped my weight loss? This is what I feel it has helped me. I know it definitely helps me keep keeps me fuller longer. I'm hardly ever, you guys see, I bring snacks with me constantly to work, but I don't hardly eat any of those snacks. I eat the popcorn because I love popcorn. And I'm eating the veggies because I'm trying to get that extra point, but I don't hardly ever eat, like I don't eat the yogurt every single day. I don't eat, necessarily eat my apple every single day. I mean, there are things that I'm not eating every single day, but I'm just bringing that stuff along with me just in case, but I'm getting that protein in, and it's keeping me fuller longer and keep me satiated. So I'm just not needing all those extra snacks. Also, on that same vein, I'm not having any nighttime cravings. I used to get the worst. Like, I just wanted to eat while I was sitting down. I used to think it was just a habit. But now that I'm really working on this protein and getting this protein in each day, I am not even like wanting it at night. Like, it's really taking that craving away. It is amazing. I also am not having like any blood sugar crashes or spikes. I feel like my blood sugar has been very even because I'm not feeling that. You guys all know what I'm talking about when you feel like it's raising or it's like crashing. Like, I can always tell. Also, my blood pressure is regulated since I increased my protein. So that was something we had talked about back in October when my blood pressure was really high. I never had high blood pressure ever. So one of the things he told me was to increase my lean proteins and increase my exercise. And also my LDL was just my LDL cholesterol was just slightly elevated. So then when I went back to him in February for a checkup on my blood pressure and my cholesterol, everything's been regulated. My blood pressure has been really good. He doesn't want to see me for another 6 months. So everything is going really well. And he thinks it's because of the protein, because I told him I've been tracking it. And then I had some weight loss also. So he thinks that between the weight loss and the protein, that it's really helped with my blood pressure and with my LDL cholesterol. And if you look online, you're going to see that there's some things that they say that protein does. And one of them being, they say that it's going to boost your metabolism, increase your fat burning, increase your muscle mass. I think the muscle mass thing is probably true because that's what they all say, but I'm not really too concerned about that since I don't do any like heavy lifting or anything like that. As far as boosting your metabolism, increasing your fat burning, I don't know. It may be a science thing. I have no idea. That's not really what I'm doing it for. I'm mainly doing it for the cravings and staying full and satisfied throughout the day. Now, the big question, how do I get more protein in my diet? So y'all know I start my day off with a protein drink pretty much every single day. It gives me 30 grams of protein just right off the bat. Plus it keeps me satiated until lunchtime. Meat is an obvious answer. I eat a lot of chicken, a lot of boneless, skinless chicken breasts, a lot of ground chicken, ground turkey. And if you didn't know, there's 25 grams of protein in 4 ounces of a boneless, skinless chicken breast. That's a lot of protein. When I make those chicken salad sandwiches, so like all last week I had the chicken salad sandwiches, that was 31 grams of protein in a serving of that, because I did pretty big servings because I only used plain non-fat Greek yogurt in there, which was 0 point. So it was a 0 point chicken salad, which was fabulous, and it was 30 grams of protein. So you cannot beat that. Eggs, of course, are also a really good source of protein. Dairy. I try to make sure that the yogurt that I choose, which I usually choose the Greek yogurt because it does have a higher source of protein in it. I try to make sure there's at least 10 grams, but you guys know I usually go for the Chobani or the Too Good, which I believe have between 10 to 12. And then the Oikos has 15, and they do have the Oikos Pro, I believe is what it's called, and then it has 20. So I usually go for the 15 gram protein ones. I really enjoy those Oikos yogurts. Beans, lentils, chickpeas. Those are all really good sources of protein. You'll notice I do try to incorporate beans or lentils or chickpeas in my meals several times a week, or if not more. Quinoa is another good source. Ezekiel bread. So you guys notice I have switched over to Ezekiel bread from the Sara Lee. It's 1 more point, so it's 3 points for 2 slices, so it's only 1 more point for 2 slices. And since it's sprouted grains, it's made of grains and legumes, so it has a higher source of protein. I'm pretty sure it's like 7 grams of protein for 2 slices. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm getting more in there. Plus Ezekiel bread is just a lot better for you because it has less ingredients and it has all those, you know, sprouted things which are supposed to be good for your gut. I don't know a lot about that. Maybe eventually we'll have a talk about gut after I do a lot of research on that. So here are some tips quickly, because this video is getting a little long. So here's some tips I've used to get my daily protein intake in. So I eat protein first. So I'm sitting down eating a meal. You know, you have your meat, you have maybe a salad, your veggies. I always eat my protein source first. That way, if I get full, then I know I've gotten my protein in, and then I'll usually go for like the salad and then the veggies. Like, I like salads. I mean, I've just never been like a eat veggies first, except for like when they're raw. I don't mind eating them as much, but cooked veggies, I'm not like as big of a fan of. So that's why you'll notice I have a lot of salads versus like sometimes I'll have broccoli, or if broccoli is in a meal, or if I put like the zucchini and cauliflower and stuff in like a meal type thing, then it's okay, but just eating it on the side, I'm not like a huge fan of. Include protein with every one of your snacks. So like cheese with your fruit. So like if you have an apple, maybe have like a mozzarella stick with it. I did this before I was hitting, like when I was really struggling getting my protein in. Now I don't worry about it as much because I'm getting my protein in with just my meals and my like protein drinks. So I'm not as worried about, but these are just some tips if you're somebody who is struggling. So yeah, have a mozzarella stick maybe with your apple, cheese with your crackers. So sometimes I'll have the pretzel crisps and I like do like a wedge of Laughing Cow cheese, and it may only be like 2 or 3 grams of protein, but you guys, it adds up. So it's just like just getting in that habit of having a snack with a protein. Make sure you have some sort of protein, a hard-boiled egg with maybe your pretzel crisps or your, you know, that kind of thing. Just make sure you have a protein source with every single meal you eat, including snacks. Another thing, hummus is another good source of protein because it's made from chickpeas. Almonds have, I believe, I thought I had it in my notes, I want to say it was like 6 grams of protein per serving. Now they're higher, of course, in WW points, but they're such a healthy fat as well. So if you can fit it in your day, adding almonds with her. So like almonds, cheese, and like an apple. That would be a great protein-filled snack. You can also throw like protein, like maybe slivered almonds like on your salad or something like that. Cottage cheese. I already mentioned yogurt, but cottage cheese. Cottage cheese has like, I think it's about 12 grams per serving. And so it's like a serving's like a half a cup. And I personally love cottage cheese. I'll throw some fruit in it, or I put like avocado and I'll put like some red pepper flakes. That's my favorite way to have it. Throw it in your salad. If you're like me, sometimes I'll just throw it in my salad. Whenever I go to places like with a salad bar, I have cottage cheese and I just throw it in my salad. So love that. Cottage cheese, high thing of protein. Have a protein shake. So like I do with that protein shake, have something like that. Or you can even just make yourself a protein smoothie, something like that. So also, if you just aim for like 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, depending on where you're going with it. So maybe 20 grams if you're just trying to start out to increase your protein, just have that. So then you're not like tracking it. You can just mentally track it or just jot it down, but just try to aim for about 20 grams of protein per meal and just fill in the rest with snacks. I think you'll find that it's get a little bit easier for you to get your protein in for the day. So hopefully you guys, this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section or send me over a private message over at Instagram or Facebook. I'd be happy to answer any questions of just my personal knowledge, of course, because I'm not a doctor. Now, how did I do this week? I lost 1.6 pounds this week. You guys, like, what the heck is happening? I am so excited. This is a total of 9.2 pounds since my WW restart 7 weeks ago. Now, I have a lot of people ask me, but how much have you lost total? Because you did WW before. Well, the sad thing is I have regained everything that I lost when I was on WW before. Pre-WW, I did just tracked everything in MyFitnessPal, and I lost like my first like 40-ish pounds, 45 pounds, just by counting calories and putting everything in MyFitnessPal, just changing the way I'm eating. That's really how I lost the first 40 pounds. I lost it in like 3 months. And then I started WW just for something new, just saw it out there. And then I lost a little bit. I lost quite a bit more. And then I regained all of it back, and all this crazy like yo-yo dieting that I've been doing the last like 4 years. It has been absolutely crazy. No more like the last 3 years. I think I quit WW 3 years ago. And it's just been an up and down. And I wish I never had stopped to begin with, but I did. Here I am. I'm back. So I'm not getting more bad. But I have had a total weight loss though of 54.8 pounds since I really started my health journey and started tracking everything and all of that. So 54.8 pounds, but I lost 9.2 on WW total since my restart 7 weeks ago and 1.6 this week. So you guys, great week. I'm so excited. How did you do this week? I want to know. Leave me a comment down below. I love following along on all your guys' journeys. I love hearing from you all. If you have any topic suggestions, please leave those in the comments as well, and I'll do my best to fit them in my weekly videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be a grocery haul. Then we have meal prep, and then we just start all over the week. I think I'll have a bonus video for you next week as well. So I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.